What is going on? Twitch, Twitter. What is going on? Facebook, YouTube. What is going on, everyone? We appreciate you guys being here for our Real Housewives of Potomac recap. Bear with me for 1 second because there's something that I needed to add to this and I haven't added it to this live yet. So let me just add it. So because we have a special sponsor today and I want to make sure I have that footage for you guys. If you haven't already, be sure to like the video. Be sure to let us know where you're watching from. We apologize for the delay. Look, we have a lot of last minute news that came through today. A lot of last minute news in regards to the Real Housewives of Potomac. So I want to make sure we cover all of that. But we did just post a video here on YouTube exclusively talking about this announcement that Candiace Dillard Bassett and Chris Bassett are expecting their first child together. This would be Chris Bassett's fourth child, I think. We got to talk about Nneka Ehim and the news that she has also been fired. We also had breaking news this morning. If you follow me on TikTok or on Instagram, you already know that news that regular Robyn is officially gone, and she admits that she was not asked back. She was not asked back. All right, so we're going to get into that and so much more. So be sure to like the video, be sure to share the video, and don't forget, you can also take us on the go by downloading the Kempire podcast. Let's talk about the final part of the Real Housewives of Potomac reunion.
Hey baby, won't you listen to me? I got that flavor, I know you're dying to feed. I ain't no dancer, just got some hip in my feet. Now throw your hands up. You bring the lighter, I got the fuse. You make a fire, I'll add the fuel. Follow my lady, just watch the shoes. Gotta turn the heat up to get this cool.
Welcome back to the Kempire channel, your #1 source for pop culture news and music, entertainment, reality TV, and so much more. Guys, don't forget to like the video. Don't forget to share the video. Let me just pause for a second. Not pause, but I just want to bring up our sponsor video today. Hold on 1 second. Let me just pull this over. Hold on. Okay, no, not that one. There we go. All right, so let me just move this over. It's a live show. Bear with me. Okay. All right. Back to this. Okay. All right. So let's get into this. First of all, I just want to say congratulations to Candiace Dillard Bassett. When we posted our video talking about regular Robyn and the announcement that she will not be returning, and then we were talking also about Alexia and Todd Napola, from the Real Housewives of Miami. Apparently they're getting a divorce. So we talked about that in a separate video. Literally when I was done editing that video is when I saw the news that Candiace Dillard Bassett and Chris Bassett are with child. So when we said that Candiace chose peace over a paycheck, she really meant that. So in an exclusive interview with Entertainment Tonight, she confirmed that she is pregnant. So let's get into that first before we get into this reunion. Because after watching this reunion, I think it was very clear, it was very apparent that she was done. And obviously, she had a good reason to be done. And I'm sure this was the motivation. She did say this in this almost 20-minute interview that she did with Bryce from Entertainment Tonight, that 95% of the reason why she decided not to return was so that she could have that peace. So Entertainment Tonight writes this in regards to Candiace Dillard Bassett and her pregnancy. They say this: Candiace Dillard Bassett is upgrading from cry angles to baby wipes. They said the Real Housewives of Potomac star 37 exclusively tells Entertainment Tonight she's expecting her first child with husband Chris Bassett, who's 46. She says, I'm about 13 weeks, so just about into the second trimester. It's been weird, but also really wonderful, I think. To keep it kind of to ourselves to this point, Candiace shares with ET. She says, our immediate family knows. My mom, hey dad, and she says, I told my mom on her birthday in February. My dad knows. Chris's parents know. My siblings know, and that is my core best friend group. But outside of that, it's just been like kind of quiet. It's just been kind of quietly just growing a bun. So they said the Drive Back singer documented some of her journey to motherhood on the Bravo series, filming counseling sessions with fertility specialists and the prep work for IVF. The couple's baby-to-be came from one of the embryos they froze 2 years ago. Shout out to Layla Lynn, because when we did our last collaboration with Layla Lynn and Grace Report, Layla says, I think she's pregnant. I think she's pregnant. And I was like, really? And I'm like, I think she just chose peace. I think she just chose peace. But I think she chose peace. I think we both were right. She chose peace for her womb. She chose peace for her womb. So Entertainment Tonight continues in regards to Candiace's pregnancy. She says, I think we're both kind of content to have them just sit there. Oh, wait, hold on. Let me rewind. In regards to the embryo, she says, I think we were both kind of content to have them just sit there until my cut-off date. Candiace confesses, referencing the window Chris gave her to bleep or get off the pot. When it comes to babies, she needed to be pregnant by the time he turned 50. Oh, and he's 46. Okay, he gave her a lot of time. She says, I kind of woke up and realized that I was never going to be 100% ready. I get that. And we've said that during our recaps of the Real Housewives of Potomac. It didn't feel like Candiace wanted to have children, or at least she wasn't ready to have kids. And I think a lot of parents probably could relate. A lot of women can relate to how she feels. And a lot of people will say, you're never going to feel 100% ready, ever, especially when it comes to kids. So she says, I kind of woke up and realized that I was never going to be 100% ready. I just had to trust the process and trust my doctors and stop being afraid and just do it. That is a word. And that's not just in regards to pregnancy. I know someone's listening to this right now or watching this right now and like, I think that relates to me. And it doesn't necessarily, again, have to do with pregnancy. She says, so once we decided together that we were going to do that together, it was just kind of all moving by faith from there. Candiace underwent implantation in January, leading to an anxiety-filled 2 weeks of waiting to find out if the procedure was successful. She kept busy with a trip to Los Angeles for the Grammys. Sidebar, did we know that she had embryos? I know that we knew she was going through the process of trying to do that, but I don't know if we knew for sure that she actually had embryos. I can't remember. You know, I don't remember everything chapter and verse. I remember she was going through the process, but I don't remember her having the embryos. Regardless, she did. And maybe she wanted to keep that information to herself for a reason. All right. So she says she kept busy with a trip to Los Angeles for the Grammys, which delayed finding out by a few days, as she wanted to be back home with Chris when their doctor broke the news. Okay. They said, our doctor called us at 8 a.m. and she tells us that we're pregnant, Candiace shares. We waited and waited and waited all this time. So to finally hear that after those 2 weeks, the process has worked after a year of doing the shots. I did 2 rounds of egg retrieval to do the shots in your stomach. I had to do the shots in my bum every day, which was not always fun, which we saw her doing on the show. Not last season or the previous season. They said the pair don't know yet whether they're having a boy or girl. They had 1 male embryo and 1 female embryo. So they're going to play a little surprise, which is nice. They said, so the doctors know, Chris explains. We did all the tests. Obviously, we wanted something healthy. And I was like, listen, let's just take the highest graded egg and we'll put it in there. And this is the one surprise of this whole experience that we don't know yet. Okay. So the 2 plan to find out the sex of the child before Candiace gives birth, though. Oh, okay. It's so cool that, I guess so they can plan and like get baby clothes and decorate the room and that kind of thing. She says, it's so cool that you literally have no idea what you're getting, Candiace says. What their personality is, although at our last sonogram, signs are pointing to them being more like Chris than me. Is that a bad thing, Chris asks? Laid back, Candiace clarifies. We're trying to get them to move for the sonogram, and they are like being camera shy, because before the camera came out, they were moving around, and then he pulled out the camera, and they were like, nope, So sounds like Chris. Candiace and Chris's bundle of joy will join his 3 kids from previous relationships. Okay, and we've seen a couple of Chris's kids on the show. Remember that season where we saw them on the show. They continue. They said, that's something I got to keep in mind as we go through this process, right? That I've done this 3 times already. This is her first time, Chris reflects. I've got to make sure for me that I stayed engaged because I got to be super supportive for her. And she's going to need all that. She's going to need that all the way through. So that's kind of what I'm looking forward to, just to share it and experience it with Candiace and just see where it goes. There's a lot more comfort in knowing that he's done this 3 times with 2 boys and a girl, so he's seen both sides, Candiace says. As for what she's most looking forward to about a baby, Candiace is already thinking far into the future. Candiace says, I'm excited to just support them and whatever they want to do. She muses, starting to tear up. What were we watching? Something about like kids playing soccer or sports or something. And I thought to myself, oh gosh, what if my son or daughter wants to play football? I'm not an outdoor person. I'm not a sports person. I can only tell you when there's a touchdown happening. But if my kid wanted to play football, I would get a big mosquito net and be outside, cheering and yelling and ready to fight the referee. So I'm just excited to meet them. And I said this when we were recently having the collaboration with Grace and Layla. I said, I kind of want to see Candiace as a mom. I think Candiace as a mom is going to be a completely different Candiace. Candiace is used to being her mom's baby and her mom taking care of her. And, there's a bratty side to Candiace that we've talked about before. So now that she's a mom, I think that's going to dramatically change her in a lot of ways. But then I'm thinking to you guys, the audience, I wonder how production feels about this. I wonder how the network feels about this. Because in this interview, Candiace is asked by Bryce, was your decision to leave the show because you were pregnant? And she says 95% of the reason why she decided not to return was because of this. She wanted to have a level of peace. She wanted to be at peace during this process. And remember when I said when we reported that she decided not to return? There was speculation that she got fired, blah, 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 blah. But part of me is sort of like the way that she announced this was a little different. Because normally these housewives announcements about not returning, especially if they weren't offered a contract or they were fired, a lot of times that happens after the reunion. And that's exactly what Robyn decided to do today. Damn, Robyn, you can't even have a moment, regular Robyn. You can't even have a moment. Even today, you're outshined by this announcement. At least you had this morning. If you missed I'm not going to go in depth to regular Robyn's announcement. She took to her podcast, Reasonably Shady, the Two Broke Girls podcast, and announced that she will not be returning. She was clear. And honestly, I feel like she was taking shots. I feel like she was taking shots at Candiace, because remember, Candiace said she was going to be taking a break. And she's like, I'm not going to make this announcement and make it seem like I'm taking a break and all of this other stuff. She's like, I was not asked back. I was fired. We know. We know you weren't asked back. But some people speculated the same for Candiace, but Candiace says that is not the case. She decided, because production, the network, they want to see Candiace pregnant. They want to document this because they followed her on this journey. So I wonder if production is a little upset. I wonder if the network is a little upset at the news that she's pregnant, and now she's not going to share that with the show. You remember what happened with Kenya Moore when she didn't share an aspect of her life? They punished her, remember? And then we subsequently did not get to see Kenya pregnant. We got that one scene because, I forgot who, Cynthia told her to come and so that they can at least see you pregnant on the show. So now we're not going to be able to we'll see it on Instagram. Candiace, you got a YouTube channel? Document it that way. So that way your fans can still see this process and hear your hopes, your dreams, your fears, and all of that. I think you should do it. Do it on your own accord and your own edit, in your own control. Just saying. And honestly, you'll look back on this process and be grateful that you documented it. And again, you don't have to share it with us, but I'm sure your fans would love to see and be a part of this experience with you. Congratulations to both Candiace and Chris on this. I'm glad you guys chose peace over a paycheck, because some people won't do that. They will be like, all right, I'll do it because they need that check. She was like, nope. Good for you, Candiace. All right, because this is Real Housewives of Potomac Day, we have so much to cover. We did a separate video talking about regular Robyn getting fired. We just wanted to give you an update in regards to Candiace Dillard-Bassett announced today that she is about 13 weeks pregnant with her husband, Chris Bassett. Congratulations to them. Congratulations to, I think, Nneka. All right, so let's talk about Nneka. All right, Nneka. I'm not surprised by this news, because I heard the same weekend that I heard that regular Robyn wasn't coming back was the same weekend and I told you guys that Nneka was not returning. And I know normally Andy says that he loves to, at least give a new housewife at least 2 seasons. But apparently I've been saying I feel like a reboot's coming to Potomac. And if 3 housewives aren't coming back, that does make a reboot. And a reboot doesn't mean that everyone is gone. So our friends over at the Jasmine brand write this in regards to Nneka Ehim. They said, the Jasmine brand exclusively reports, Jasmine brand were also the ones that broke the news that Robyn wasn't coming back in March. So they said the Jasmine brand can exclusively report that Nneka Ehim has allegedly been fired from Real Housewives of Potomac after her first season. She's now allegedly the 3rd person from season 8 who will not be returning for season 9. On Monday, April 15th, Robyn Dixon announced on her Reasonably Shady podcast that she was also fired from the hit Bravo series. All right. That's all we know. All right. Look, that's all we know. And that's all we got from Nneka in regards to her season. We got nothing else from Nneka this season. The reunion, we got nothing. Even this conversation, and I think the producers and production and the network wanted to steer clear of this conversation in regards to the shrines and Osu and all of that stuff. They wanted to steer clear of that. So we got a very brief conversation about it at the reunion. Sidebar. Did they ever show that scene where Dr. Wendy spoke to her in their language? Remember they showed that during the previews for the reunion? Did they not show it? They didn't show it, did they? Thank you. On my TikTok, Mr. Clip says, nope, they didn't show it. Why y'all playing in our faces? I kind of want to know why she said what she said. So they never showed why Wendy said what she said in their language. Damn. Well, we got 3. They say things happen in 3s. Candiace is gone, Robyn is gone, and Nneka is gone. Okay. I'm going to jump around a little bit, but because it's fresh on my mind, I want to point it out because I don't want to forget it later. And then we're going to get into the reunion. But speaking of the reunion and speaking of cast changes, I've been speculating that Ashley Darby is not coming back. All right, for a variety of different reasons, okay? When Keiarna came out, I thought it was interesting that they placed Keiarna between Dr. Wendy Osefo and Candiace. Normally, a friend of the show would be seated at the end. Ashley remained at the end. That was interesting to me. Anyone else? That never happens during the reunions. Normally, unless it's like Miami. Miami, the friend doves, it's a different situation. But normally, the friend doves, they put at the end when they come in and they add their 2 cents. But they put Keiarna dab smack in the middle. And they left Ashley over there in yonder. Ashley, are you okay? Over there. Are you going to fall off the stage? I thought that was interesting. And look, I've been speculating that maybe Ashley wouldn't come back. Michael might pay her a little paycheck not to come back. Okay, we'll get back to Ashley, but I just wanted to point that out just in case I forget to mention it later. Let's start at the top. Guys, if you haven't already, be sure to like the video. It's an easy and free way of supporting not just my channel, but other channels as well. This is our weekly recap of the Real Housewives of Potomac, Season 8 Reunion Part 3. This is our final Potomac recap for 2024. I don't know when we're going to get Real Housewives of Potomac back. I don't know when that's going to happen. But I think a lot of you are kind of over it anyway. First of all, a lot of people have created petitions to get Giselle fired from the show. Did you sign it? Look, who signed it? Show yourselves. Who signed the petition for Giselle to get fired? I did find it interesting. I'm going to jump around a little bit, y'all, because once the thought comes to my mind, I don't want to forget it later. I did find it interesting at the end of this reunion, Giselle saying that she can't wait for the world to see this reunion. She can't wait for the audience to see this. I don't think she realized that is the definition of a narcissist. She really has no idea that the world has, even people that may have liked her before on the show are looking at her crazy, especially at this reunion. And sidebar, someone said, Rita said, send the link, please. If y'all can find the link, mods, please post it in the chat, okay? Because I don't have I think there's multiple petitions. We can find the petition. Wendy said I did. Brie Lynn said I did. Jamaican Barbie said I did. Y'all are a mess. Love Meg said I did sign. I signed the petition. Pavilion Girl says did. Crystal says I will sign. Let me just say this. Yes, we have been holding Karen accountable for her recent DUI. But what I will say about Karen Huger during the season, she has been a stellar part of the season. So much so that even at this reunion, even during a moment that we didn't even realize, Keiarna is thanking Karen for being there for her during this brawl that happened. I was like, Karen, you are truly the MVP. You gave us stellar moments. And this is why I always say you don't have to have a storyline, because Karen didn't really have a storyline. Yes, Triple 20, they never showed her Triple 20 party. Mind you, they've been talking about it all year long. Another thing that people are holding, editing and things about. She was the unifying force this season. She really was the fence that brought everyone together this season. She did exactly what the producers and the network wanted Sheree to do over in Atlanta, and Sheree was not able to do. Karen was able to do it this season. She was able to bring the funny, the fun, the drama, the shade. Like, she is stellar. Like, her job, give her a raise. Give her a raise. All right? Anyways, I just wanted to mention that. But let's start at the top of this reunion. Gordon. All right. So Gordon, I have to say this. I know Mia lies a lot, y'all. But I have to say, after Gordon admitted that he has been diagnosed about 2.5 years ago with bipolar 1, and he explained his manic states, it made more sense to me after he admitted that. It made so much more sense. His behavior after it was announced that they were separating, it made more sense about the family cutting him off as the CEO, because I think because of his manic states, that's what he was doing. And I think he was spending excessively. Remember, Mia mentioned how he was spending excessively right before they got married. He explains that this is something that's been happening over time, and now he feels like he's been able to manage it. So he reveals that he gets very emotional talking about it. He talks about how Mia has really been there for him. Now it makes more sense to me why Gordon's backstage waving, hi to the other man. Because Mia, apparently, according to Gordon, has really been there for him during this diagnosis. And he had a recent episode that he had to be hospitalized for. And he said that Mia was there for him during this time. To me, it made so much more sense, that whole situation. But of course, it would take someone other than Mia to explain it. So I was like, you know what? It makes a lot of sense now. And it also makes sense in regards to their money. Because remember, I was like, how are they paying for anything? What didn't make sense to me, and I'm going to point this out. So remember, the family, he's in a good place with his family now. He's in a good place with his family now. He never lost his shares. So he was still making money off of these businesses. What he lost was his position as CEO and the salary as CEO. But my question is, why did they let Mia go? Maybe because she's married to him and they didn't want him having a connection. But that's the thing. Like, if Mia was doing a good job besides, cleaning out cabinets, why would they let her go? So Miss Goat says, so Mia was never CEO then. No, apparently not. Apparently not. She was never CEO, because if she was CEO, they wouldn't have let her go, because he doesn't make those decisions. But apparently he was the CEO. Lauren says Mia was CEO. Why would they let her go if she wasn't making those decisions? But who knows? Who knows? Maybe they felt like she's married to him, and who knows? Miss Keiser says they don't like her. Look, we saw Mia's version of a CEO. Mia's version of a CEO was going into the cabinets and organizing the cabinets. It never gave us, she was really a CEO. Daphne says, I don't think Mia was a CEO. No. But I have to say, this segment at the top of this reunion really, it answered a lot of questions, a lot of holes. And I think this might be part of I think Mia lies, but I also think Mia sometimes has a bad time explaining herself. But when Gordon explained it, it made so much more sense in regards to everything. His bipolar diagnosis, what happened with his family. He's in a better place with his family. All the lawsuits have been dropped, he says. And maybe that's how they're paying for everything. I know Mia says she's helping him out. I think she's helping manage G's money. Right? Because Mia, where are you making this money from? Not from the show. You just came onto the show and they don't pay a lot. So where is Mia's money coming from? The 8 candles? No. The 8-wick candles? No. Shay says, look at the CEO. Wendy's voice. So I think Mia is just helping Gordon manage the money, to be honest with you. That to me makes the most sense. All right. I shout out to Gordon for sharing his diagnosis and what he's been going through and how that affected some of what we saw during the season. All right. Nneka. So Nneka finally gets to speak at this reunion. Yes, we heard little bit. Someone said that Nneka gave ad-libs throughout this reunion, because nothing else really happened with Nneka. So I'm not surprised they decided not to bring Nneka back. Do you think that Dr. Wendy Osefo will be back? I think so. I think because they've lost so many other housewives this season, I can see that securing Dr. Wendy's position to return next season. And I'm sure Dr. Wendy's more than excited to return next season, especially because Nneka won't be back. Okay. All right. So they play Nneka's package in regards to her journey throughout the season. So we get an update in regards to her pregnancy journey. The IUI did not take. So now she's going to do IVF. She says a lot of the ladies have been very supportive. Candiace has even helped her because, Candiace has gone through this. We just reported to you that Candiace is now with child. All right. We also find out that Nneka was raised in Wisconsin, and that's why she speaks the way that she speaks. Okay. So Andy says he gave a little disclaimer before they started talking about the shrines and the Osu situation, because they learned from the audience that this conversation that they were having throughout the season was culturally sensitive. All right. So he says that, because of that nature, he wanted to point out that production wasn't aware of the shrine call before filming. He says production wanted Nneka to come through Dr. Wendy Osefo. And they got the hint that Dr. Wendy wasn't excited about it. So Wendy explains that they came to her asking her, did she know Nneka? And she's like, I don't know Nneka like that. And Nneka was like, and they asked the question whether or not Nneka was telling production or telling people that she knew Wendy. And Nneka said this, that, we've been in the same room together, we've talked before, blah, 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 blah. Here's the thing, though. The way that Nneka describes her interactions with Wendy, it seems very casual. It doesn't seem like you really knew her like that. But Andy clarifies, for productions, idea of someone knowing someone is that they've crossed paths before. You don't have to know people chapter and verse. You don't have to be besties with anyone. So that makes sense to me because we've seen that before. Some people think some of these reality TV stars really know each other when production just needs someone to kind of be like a segue of that housewife onto the show. So according to Andy, he says that production got the feeling that Wendy was not excited about Nneka being on the show. Okay. So, what I loved about this moment when they start talking about the conversation about Osu, Wendy puts it on Ashley. She puts it on Ashley to be like, Ashley, why don't you explain exactly what Osu means? Ashley is sitting there like, humana. Yeah, Ashley. She put Ashley in the hot seat. And Ashley deserved to be in the hot seat, to be honest with you. She deserved to be in the hot seat because she was so flippant with bringing this on the show. Well, Ashley says that, well, I never claimed to know what that was, or even to know that how sensitive that topic was. All right. But I just love the fact that Dr. Wendy put her in the hot seat and was like, well, since you want to bring it up on the show, you explain to the audience what exactly that is. Nneka then says that no one really here is equipped to really talk about what that is. Miss Esquire says that Wendy gagged and I lived. I gagged when she said it. I was like, but it's true, because throughout the entire season, Ashley has sort of skated by when she was the reason why this was even brought up. All right. Well, Nneka claims that Wendy was also spreading lies all season. Sidebar, Nneka also says that you've been lying this entire reunion to Dr. Wendy. Unless there's stuff that I didn't see, I don't really feel like Dr. Wendy was lying, especially not when it comes to you throughout the reunion, because they barely talk to you guys about your issues throughout the reunion. But maybe I'm missing something from that. Maybe we're all missing something, or maybe it was edited out. Okay? But yeah, so Nneka said she claims that Wendy was spreading lies all season and that she never had this same energy for Ashley. Well, here's the thing. Dr. Wendy saw the scene probably a little bit before we saw that scene with Ashley and Nneka. So I can understand why throughout the season she didn't have that same energy for Ashley, because she didn't see that until after it was filmed. And probably like a week before they actually aired the episode. But that doesn't change the fact that Nneka still claims that Wendy's mom was, going to shrines and putting her name in a shrine. All right. But you can see from production standpoint, they did not want to delve too deep into this back and forth between Dr. Wendy Asefo and Nneka. They really brushed over it. And I get why, because, we've had callers call in and explain how taboo this conversation about the shrines and the Osu situation really is. So production did not want to make a misstep in this conversation. But they made a misstep because they were previewing that scene where Dr. Wendy Asefo speaks in her language to Nneka, and then we completely don't see it. So I have no idea what that was related to. I have no idea. No idea. Let me just say thank you, because we got quite a few super chats. Guys, if you're just joining us, this is our Real Housewives of Potomac reunion recap, final recap for season 8. We have a lot of Real Housewives of Potomac news, so be sure to check out some of the separate videos that we did, including some Real Housewives of Miami news. Alexia Napola will be getting a divorce, apparently, from Todd Napola. He filed for divorce. Fainerus, thank you so much for the super chat. We appreciate your support. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Joe, thank you so much for the super chat. Joe says, no, know that she won't name the baby Giselle or Robyn. Oh my goodness. Imagine if she did. Kay, thank you for the super chat. Kay says, the way that Candiace hosted the Mother's Day brunch, we are going to miss out, right? That was probably like one of the best events that they it gave us luxury this season for Real Housewives of Potomac. She's definitely gonna go all out, and Mama Dot's gonna go all out because isn't this Mama Dot's first grandchild too? So they're gonna go all out. Chi Chi, thank you so much for the super chat. Leave RHOP behind, choose baby and peace, Candiace, and that's exactly what she did. Zoe, thank you for the super chat. Zoe says, Bravo dropped the ball with Candiace. Here goes an amazing storyline and left with Giselle. So happy for Candiace. Bye, regular Robyn. We are free at last. I mean, yeah. I think if the environment was better for Candiace, because Candiace says she doesn't even know what the environment would be like, and based off of how the reunion went, it just really sealed the deal for her in not returning. That would not be the right environment for Candiace to be in. And look, Candiace is usually a crybaby, but now it makes even more sense why she was crying. And between Mia and Giselle laughing at her crying, she's crying because she literally was pregnant during this reunion. So Bianca, thank you for the super chat. Bianca says, Robyn was definitely shady in her announcement. Bye, heifer. I know Robyn was taking shots. Some people are like, oh no, she wasn't taking shots because Candiace wasn't fired. Yeah, we know Candiace wasn't fired, but Candiace said in her statement that she was taking a break. So the fact that Robyn in her announcement refers to that, I knew she was taking a shot. She was being shady. Sharon says Nneka was fired as well. We talked about that. Thank you, Miss Sharon. Joe, thank you for another super chat. Joe says she can document her pregnancy for herself and her family. If she does it publicly, there will always be trolls trolling, so that wouldn't be good. Well, that's true too. I mean, it's up to her. I'm not saying that she has to. She doesn't have to, but I think her fans would appreciate it. JMW, thank you for the super chat. She says, let the whole cast go except Mia, Karen, and Wendy. At this point, it sounds like that's all people coming back. Bring Keiarna. Bring Katie back. Is Katie in rehab now? I don't know where Katie is. Leave Katie where she is right now, please. Thank you. Bring Katie back. Has a storyline to tell, and we want to give us 3 new cast members. No, Katie needs to stay where she is because y'all are not y'all, but the Bravo universe is not the place for Katie right now. Y'all pretend to be supportive and not so much. CE, thank you for the super chat. CE says, so happy for Candiace. Word on the street is that Bravo is trying to get her back, but hope she doesn't cave. Peace over toxicity, especially on this journey. The only way that Candiace would come back, I think, would be if Giselle was confirmed for not coming back. And honestly, that would be my only reason for coming back as well. But maybe it really is a break, and maybe she will come back after she's given. I think after she gives birth, she's just going to be a different person. I don't see her coming back. Sharon, thank you for the super chat. Sharon says, if they're saying having a reckless mouth warrants violence, then Giselle, Robyn, Ashley, Mia should have been first in line to get popped. Joe, thank you for the super chat. Joe says, I think Kay is seated to separate her from Ashley. Oh, God. I don't think Keiarna, because Keiarna said that was her first time even really getting into a fight like that. She said it was the first time she's ever been assaulted like that. So I don't think it's even that. JMW, thank you for another super chat. Ashley needs to stay wherever Michael is. Gone. Delone, thank you for the super chat. Delone says it was Robyn crying about her firing. Poor thing. CE, thank you for another super chat. CE says, how do we post the links for Gizzard to be fired? I don't think that... If you can't post it in the chat, we'll have to post it later, guys. All right. Mama Ali, I will slow it down in just a second. Hold on one second. Hold on. Let me do that right now. Guys, are just joining us. This is our weekly recap of the Real Housewives of Potomac. This is actually our last recap for this season. This is our last recap for the season. So buckle up. We will be taking callers, but we won't be taking all the callers. Okay? Just saying. It's just way too many people. We almost got 4,000 people watching on multiple platforms. So thank you for the super chat. Dr. Sarah, thank you for the super chat. She says, not that it's true, but Mia claimed to be COO. So it still at the same time makes me wonder why exactly Mia was not able to keep her job if she was okay with them and doing what she was supposed to do. Sharon, thank you for another suggestion. She says, it's annoying that Annie Production and the cast lumped Wendy and Nneka together just because they're Nigerian. Black Africans aren't a monolith. I agree. I think maybe what they were saying was based off of Nneka telling them that she knows Wendy. I don't think it was just a Nigerian thing. But who knows? Joe, thank you for another super chat. Joe says, love awkward silence when Ashley asked about what Osu is. That was pretty awkward. And I don't think Ashley was ready for Wendy to turn it on her. All right. Let me just read these last couple of super chats, guys, and then we're going to get back into the reunion. King Jones says, so is Candiace having twins? Because in the interview, she kept saying they. Well, no, she's saying they because she doesn't know if it's a boy or girl. But you never know. I don't know. I don't think so. But yeah, the reason why she's using they is because she doesn't know if it's a boy or girl yet. Mistrees, thank you for the super chat. She says the Fire Giselle petition currently has 1,300 signatures. That's not impressive and won't get it done. That actually makes Giselle look good. Oh, damn. That's because people didn't know about it till now. We got 4,000 people here alone that will go sign it. Bianca, thank you for the super chat. Bianca says, I get Wendy not being here for Nneka joining. Lebe was trying to use her, then fell out with her sister. Now they bring Lebe's cousin to use her too. I feel like there's so much more to that Wendy and Nneka situation, because I know a lot of people probably watched the reunion and were like, I'm not understanding what is happening here. And yes, we know the conversation about Osu and the conversation about the shrines is taboo, but I still feel like there's something missing here that we're not getting to. Wendy made it seem, though, she was just like, as long as someone takes accountability, I'm willing to move forward. She kept on saying, I'm willing to move forward. Again, I feel like production warned these housewives before the reunion. They started off the reunion with Andy's disclaimer, and they ended the reunion with Andy asking, so is anyone willing to apologize? And no one really was willing to apologize. But Wendy did say, I am willing to take accountability. As long as someone's able to take accountability, I'm able to move forward. So I can see Wendy moving back. Candiace doesn't see it for Giselle. And Robyn and Candiace did not see it for each other. Pretty Girl says, I think Candy was fired. Production don't know she's pregnant. No. I think especially now with this news, I definitely don't think Candiace was fired. And also, what was the reasoning for firing Candiace? I can see the reasoning for firing Robyn, because remember, the only reason why they brought Robyn back this season was for her to answer to her holding back that information. I think she's been on thin ice with production and the network for a while. CE says there are 2 petitions for Giselle to be fired. Signed both. Also, boycott RHOP is still trending. FYI, Bravo already confirmed Candiace quit on her own. Look, Bravo will never confirm or deny if someone was fired. I'm saying that I do believe that Candiace quit on her own, but I just want to preface that with saying the network will never confirm or deny whether or not someone was fired or someone's contract was renewed. Just want to point that out. Taria, thank you for the super chat. Taria says, I love this show so much. It always sad to see any of them leave. I'm so happy for Candiace. We'll miss her and Robyn. Excited to see next season. Thank you, Taria. All right, so let me get back into this recap. For those that are just joining us, if you haven't already, be sure to like the video. We're almost at 1,000 likes. Thank you to everyone that has liked the video already. Shout out to our mods for holding us down. Be sure to say hello, and thank you to the mods. Keiarna. So Keiarna does come out at this reunion. They do talk about Keiarna's her confessional, and how stunning her confessional look was. A lot of people liked Keiarna. Even amongst this group, I can see Keiarna coming back next season because it seems as if she got along really well with everyone on both sides. And if you watch the extended version, I don't remember if this was in the live version, but it seems as if there was a little bit of an issue between Keiarna and Giselle, because as you saw during the season, Giselle checked up on Keiarna on the trip, the Dominican Republic trip, and look, Candiace says that she feels as if that Giselle doing that was strategic. Giselle said, why would that be strategic? I wouldn't have thought that it was strategic if at the time that Giselle went to Keiarna, I forgot her exact words, but she made a slick comment about how the other women did not check up on her. So for me, if it was genuine, I think you would have just checked up on her. You'd be like, oh, how are you? How are you feeling? I know you weren't feeling well. But she made a slick comment about how the other women did not check up on her. But then during the reunion, apparently, Keiarna says that Giselle was the only person that did not reach out to her after the brawl. Giselle justified that by saying, my father had just had surgery, so she really wasn't thinking about anything or anyone besides that. I'll give her that one. I'll give her that one. All right. Keiarna, so as I said to you guys before, I thought it was interesting where they seated Keiarna during the reunion instead of seating her at the end where they normally would seat a friend of. Sidebar, Charisse wasn't there. Did you miss her? Did you even notice until I mentioned it? Probably not. All right. So, Ashley, so Keiarna mentions her relationship with Cal and things like that and how she knows everyone and how she knew Dr. Wendy Asefo. She says that she also was annoyed and bothered at the fact that Wendy and Candiace did not check up on her. We saw her talk about that during the season. And of course, a viewer was asking, like, why did Dr. Wendy make that a comment that she wasn't sharing a room with Keiarna? Dr. Wendy says, well, no one had to share rooms. But then we see Giselle and Robyn whispering across the way that at that point, we didn't know that we didn't have to share rooms. So, Dr. Wendy, I'm still wondering why exactly you would say that in regards to not wanting to share a room with Keiarna. I find it interesting. It's just weird. And I feel like we still don't have an explanation, but at this point, it's a moot point. We shall see how they move forward. I do think that Keiarna might come back next season because so many of you keep saying that you want to see a little bit more of Keiarna. All right. So they talk about that. And like I said, we didn't really get any resolution as to why Dr. Wendy made that comment about Keiarna in regards to not sharing a room. All right. But they segue into Wendy's storyline for the season. They talk about her talk show. They talk about her not figuring out who she is and all the different things that, she's done over the years. But she reminds us, she's like, first of all, Happy Eddie is doing very well. It's one of the very few Black-owned, weed companies. She also talks about how they get a serious discount in regards to it too as a owner. I was like, all right, great. She also reminds us that the candles are still selling. I already knew that because at BravoCon at the Happy Eddie Wendy booth, they had the candles there too. And they had Happy Eddie merch. I'm still mad that I didn't get my Happy Eddie merch. I could have wore that today. The merch was cute. They had some cute merch. It was just like I didn't want to carry it around during the day. I wanted to get it at the end. And look, now I have to wait till 2025. if that will even be there at the BravoCon. So and they point out, and we pointed this out as well, because it felt as if because of the shrine conversation that they were highlighting Wendy's Catholicism a lot more during the season. But again, I wasn't sure if it was Dr. Wendy doing that or if production was doing that to counteract the conversation about the Osu and the shrines. And Wendy, they kind of brush over that too. And Wendy just says, I've always been Catholic. You guys showed the picture when I was, at my communion. I believe she was always Catholic, but it felt like her or production were really trying to show it up this season because of the Nneka conversation. All right. We also find out we got an update in regards to Dr. Wendy, in regards to her teaching. As you know, Dr. Wendy is a commentator. She's doing the candles, and now she has a talk show, but she was also a professor. And she says that more than likely this will be her last semester because she feels like she's missing out on a lot of pivotal moments with her children. So she's going to probably focus, take time off from doing all of that. I didn't even realize she was still doing the professoring. All right. So Wendy's also asked about the question in regards to referring to Mia as slow. And she doubled down. She's like, well, Mia also thinks that, I forgot where Mia thought she was, but she thinks that she's bi-coastal and the cities that she mentioned that she lives are all on the same coast. She also mentioned in part 2 that she's syndicated. So Dr. Wendy and Mia, I think they will always. I think Dr. Wendy and Mia's relationship is going to be very similar to Karen and. No, actually, I would compare it to Karen and Robyn's relationship. Probably more like Karen and Giselle, like a frenemy situation, because I could see them having a good time together and still shading the hell out of each other. I could see that. All right. So Wendy does apologize to Nneka because during the season she referred to Nneka as a crackhead. All right. So she does apologize to her for making that comment. All right. Mia then calls out Dr. Wendy for calling her a pathological liar. Lies, the lie. So Mia was very offended that Dr. Wendy would call her a pathological liar. Mia, you've been caught out there in multiple lies. You might be a pathological. Okay, we won't call you pathological because that is a diagnosis. But you have lied quite a few times. Pathologically. Pathologically, Mia, you have lied multiple times. I don't know if that makes you a pathological liar, but you've lied a lot. You've lied a lot. Thank you, Rita, for donating memberships to the channel. We appreciate you guys for supporting. Guys, if you would like to become a member of the channel, there are a lot of really great perks to being a channel member. Head on over to TheKempire.com/join. Don't forget, guys, we will also be live at 5:30 p.m. Eastern, 2:30 p.m. PST for our Summer House Martha's Vineyard recap. Oh, got things to talk about. And not you guys highlighting our interview with Bria on multiple platforms. Oh, Lord. Sophia says the crackhead apology didn't sound so authentic. I mean, there were kind of a few moments. I think Wendy knew what she needed to do in order to move forward. She knew that she did get a lot of backlash, even from people that like Wendy. They were like, King Jones, thank you for the super chat. King Jones says, Candiace also said in the interview that she would have read the green-eyed 403s down, but production asked her to be nice. And literally during part 3 of the reunion, she's like, she gets frustrated with Giselle because Giselle, when talking about the brawl, Giselle blames Wendy, Candiace. She blamed everyone. She even said Keiarna. She said Deborah. All of them were to blame. It took Mia convincing Giselle, who was not there during the brawl. Giselle was not there during the brawl. So it took Mia convincing her that, oh yeah, Dr. Wendy had nothing to do with it. She was the one trying to, squash everything. So, I think I lost my train of thought. Look. I say all that to say we'll get back to that particular part of the reunion. Let me just get through the super chats. Delon, thank you for the super chat. Delon says, I think Wendy is back because the shade on her IG story. All right. I definitely think Wendy's back. I don't think Dr. Wendy has gotten the walking papers. Tyrese, thank you for the super chat. Tyrese says production was just being messy towards Wendy bringing Nneka on because what was the appeal? It's hard to impress production and she ain't it. They used her. Yeah. Oh yeah. Back to what I was saying in regards to that scene with Giselle blaming everyone. You saw in that moment when Giselle blames everyone. Candiace says, literally, she's talking, I think, to production, not to us. She's like, you want me to be friends with this woman? You want me to move forward with this woman? That's what I wanted to say. Rita, thank you for the super chat. Rita says, I'm sad that this season is coming to an end just because there won't be any more recaps. I enjoyed them so much. Thank you so much, dear Kempire and your community. You were the highlight of my weeks. Thank you, Rita. I'm sure we will find something else to get in trouble with. like tomorrow for our Tuesday takeover. Thank you, Rita. Kiki says, I think Wendy didn't want to share because Kay was sick. No one wanted to share rooms with bubble guts. But why not say that? Like, we could understand that. I think we all assumed that. Thank you guys so much for the gifts on TikTok. I think we would all understood that. We all kind of assumed that, is that the reason why? But she never said it. She never said, well, she was sick, and I really did not want to share a room with someone that was sick, especially with the bubble guts blowing up the bathroom. Like, we would understand that. It wouldn't be nice, but we would understand. Right? Anyone else? Jay, thank you for the super chat. Jay says, pero, like, what is next season even going to be about? He. I think it's going to be about new drama. I think it's going to be a bunch of new people. Bianca, thank you for so much for the super chat. Bianca says, I cackled when Wendy shushed Nneka to stay on Ash. Oh, Lord. I mean, Nneka's been quiet this entire reunion, basically. Natasha says, y'all, there's actually 3 petitions to get rid of Jizzy. People are fed up. Why didn't they just come together for the one petition? That sort of cancels out the other petitions. But thank you, Natasha. Thank you for the super chat. Yeah, there are multiple petitions. Jamaican Barbie, thank you for the super chat. Jamaican Barbie says, I have some Wendy candles. I love them. They smell good. I smelled them at BravoCon. The candles do smell good. I meant to get a candle too. Just forgot. Thank you, Diamond, for the super chat. We appreciate you. Thank you all for the super chats. We appreciate the support. Guys, you can also support the channel just by liking the video. We're talking about the Real Housewives of Potomac reunion final part. Sharon says, Giselle's hate runs so deep for Wendy and Candiace. She blamed them for the She'll blame them for the pow of Abe Lincoln at this point. Her vitriol makes her delusional. And that's why I had to do a separate video the other day when they released the clip of Giselle basically accusing Candiace and Wendy and everybody for this brawl. And I said, this is why people accuse you guys of colorism. It's not that you have a fight with a darker skinned woman. Yes, you have a fight with everyone on this cast, but you seem to hold a grudge for the women that are darker skinned. Like, you refuse to move forward with the women that are darker skinned. That's why people keep saying that you guys have an issue with women of dark skin complexion. That's where the colorism conversation comes from. All right. Hold on, let me see. Carrie Ann says, Wendy is our only professor or teacher housewife. I'm a former educator, so I would love to see her back. Well, she's about not to be a professor anymore either. It's okay. I get it. I definitely think Dr. Wendy's coming back. I definitely think she's coming back. Would I be surprised if she didn't? No. Would I be surprised if she did? No, either. I definitely think she's going to come back. Especially, I think her position has been secured because of Candiace leaving, because of Robyn leaving, and because of Nneka leaving. I think she's been secured. All right. All right. So we have the Wendy's package, then we move on to Ashley's package. We can skip over that because Ashley has been fired. I'm joking. I don't know. Look, I don't know if she's been fired. And I'm not going to skip over it. I'm going to summarize this really quickly for everyone. Okay. So Ashley's dating someone new, but this guy doesn't necessarily, I forgot how old he is. But basically, she doesn't see the longevity in the relationship. So whatever. It's not going to happen. Ashley does say that she wants to get married again. We already talked to you guys about Ashley says she filed a complaint. So in order to move her divorce a little bit quicker, she realizes that she was on a toxic cycle with Michael. They're now back in a toxic place. She says that she also thinks that Michael is dating someone else because he went away on Valentine's Day. Michael has been dating someone else since the beginning of your marriage, allegedly. Okay. She also says, in regards to the credit card that she does Uber Eats, she says that she put her boobs on it. You think she was joking? Because I don't find that to be like cool. You know, like, I mean, like it leads everyone to believe that this divorce is a farce. Because if you would put such a big purchase like that on a credit card, says to me, that's the reason why you're staying in this relationship. Because even Andy brought up during the reunion that let's say you didn't marry Michael for the money. It seems as if you're staying with Michael for the money. She also talked about how she sort of got into this hamster wheel in their relationship because when she first got with Michael, she did work. And because he wanted to travel and he wanted to be there and everywhere, he says that she needed to quit her job. It was his way of controlling her. It was his move. He knew what he was doing. He knew what he was doing. She also says in her segment that she's expecting a sizable settlement.
Lies, the lie. And see.
Where did she get that from? She told us last reunion that her post-nup or the prenuptial agreement that she had, basically, she was bamboozled, that she really wasn't going to get much of anything. So where did we get from that to I'm getting a sizable settlement? Girl, you're not getting a sizable anything. If anything, you're going to get child support and maybe a little, some change. Look, some change. She says a sizable settlement. Girl. Look, girl. All right. Ashley, you do massage Michael's feet. You still massage Gollum's feet because you did not say massaged. You pronunciate every other word, but in this particular moment, you like, oh no, I said massaged with a D. No, girl, you said massage. You are massaging Gollum's feet as we speak. Anything so she can get that allowance. Massaging Gollum's feet. Ew. So then she, between that, she also talked about working with Giselle and the difference between working with Giselle. And I don't know if they included that in the live version, but that's included in the extended version on Peacock. We don't care. Anyone buy anything from GnA? Okay. All right. So let's talk about this Real Housewives of Potomac brawl, okay, that happened. All right. So Keiarna talked about what happened between her and Deborah. And how that happened. So it seemed as if Keiarna really was defending herself because Keiarna says that Deborah hit her in the face with glass. Okay? And here, I don't want to relive this brawl because we've talked about it. We've already talked about it. This happened between people that aren't really full-time members of the show. And I know the season has already been lackluster, and this is why it even has a segment on the show. But Keiarna tells her side of it, all right? And then Candiace tells her side of it, all right? And she says that Deborah was in her face. And that's when she called Deborah vermin, as Karen would say, vermin, all right? But we find out this little nugget. And this is why, Ashley, you are dead wrong and why you should have just shut up and apologized. Because we find out, and you see Candiace's reaction in this moment, because Candiace didn't know this either, from Mia. That Mia says that Deborah did the same thing to her and came up to her and was like, oh, so I'm a four. And Mia was like, no, she said, we're all beautiful, black women, blah, 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 blah. So Mia used that as a way to justify, it's all about how you respond to it. You have a lot more to lose. Here's the thing, Mia. You don't have room to talk because just last season you were hitting Dr. Wendy Acefa over with the purse and throwing a drink at her. Okay? I don't think anything that you were saying or the way that Ashley was trying to make it seem that, oh, Candiace, you and your words are the reason why Deborah was... No, Deborah came there with the intention of starting trouble. And honestly, Mia bringing up what Deborah did to her would just confirm for me, oh, so this is why she came here. You came here to start trouble. But Mia says, no, you can't say those things because Candiace says, she came up to her and said, oh, do you have a problem? Do you have a problem? You have something to say to me? And Candiace was just like, someone come get the help. Here's the thing. Candiace has a slick mouth. But I don't understand why Ashley would invite this woman here. And I don't care if Deborah said, I need to have a conversation with Candiace. Then you set this up outside of this event. And you give Candiace a heads up. Deborah says that she would like to have a conversation. Are you open to having a conversation with her? You don't set Candiace up at your event because so clearly you knew that Deborah wanted to have a conversation with Candiace. So all these rumors, I know Ashley during the reunion says that, oh, I don't think, I had nothing to do with that. I had no intention of, having this brawl happen at my event. But you knew that Deborah wanted to have a conversation with Candiace, but you never told Candiace. You never gave Candiace a heads up. And clearly, Deborah confronting Mia and then confronting Candiace, she came there with intentions. Do you think that's part of the reason why Ashley's not coming back? So Andy Cohen and because Candiace is like, my words should not warrant or trump someone being physical with me. Andy says, we're not saying that it trumps someone being physical with you, but we're saying that maybe it could have added to the situation. How did you guys feel about what Andy had to say? I was like, oh, sir, you are an executive producer. You are an employer. I don't think you should be speaking at this particular moment. Okay? You should not be speaking at this particular moment because you are still a superior in regards to this. Okay? I was just like, Andy, no. Look, no. Again, why you need a moderator that is not their superior. Just saying. Let me see. Where did I want to say anything else in regards to this conversation? Ashley did apologize to Keiarna. Keiarna accepted the apology, but Keiarna also said that Ashley is the queen of the aftermath of apologies. And, already Ashley was sort of like, what? What does that mean? So she gets defensive. But I get what she's saying. That's what Ashley does. She's messy. She does these things and then later wants to come out and be like, oh, I'm sorry. Like, she has a pattern. If you go throughout the history of Ashley being messy, there is a pattern. There's definitely a pattern. Was there anything else that I want to say in regards to this brawl? I've already said way more than I wanted to say about a brawl that didn't involve main cast members. But they really... Oh, I did want to mention this. So Ashley says that Candiace's words instigated the situation. No, it didn't. I'm sorry. You can feel... And I know there are people that don't like Candiace and people don't like Candiace's mouth. And look, I don't like Candiace's mouth all the time. But with this particular situation, Candiace... If someone comes in your face and they seem like they want to fight and they have a problem with you, and then they throw a drink on you for what you said to them, come on now. Look, come on now. No. And like I said before, it's clear that Deborah came there with other intentions, and you gave no heads up to Candiace that Deborah wanted to have a conversation. Deborah came there to start trouble, and she got what she was looking for, thanks to Keiarna. All right? As I said to you guys before, Keiarna gives a special thanks to Karen in this moment, and she gets emotional. Karen gets emotional because Karen really was there for Keiarna during that moment when her mom wasn't there, and she went with her to the hospital and everything like that. I thought that was really sweet. All right, so at the end of this reunion, I'm going to drop the call-in link for our members first. And again, guys, we won't be able to get to everyone today. I'm going to drop the callers first. If you're a senior royal, I'm going to drop the call-in link for senior royals first so that you have first access senior royals. Thank you so much for your membership, monthly membership. We appreciate it. But I'm going to drop it for members, senior royal members first, and then I will drop it for royal court members next. Then Team Kempire members will drop for you after that. All right? So let me just drop this here. Shout out to those of you watching on Twitch, Twitter, and on TikTok from behind the scenes. We appreciate you guys being here. All right. Senior Royals, going to drop the call-in link here. And if you're listening to the audio version of this, we will not be including the callers. So if you want to hear the callers, head on over to the Kempire YouTube channel. All right. Royal Court members, we're going to drop the call-in link for you next. And Team Kempire members, we're going to drop the call-in link for you in just a second. So Andy ends this reunion. I think Andy really tried at the end of this reunion to see if we could get to some sort of resolution. But I saw Nneka did an interview after the reunion, and she said that she felt like there was resolution. Based off this edited version of what we got, I didn't feel like there was any resolution. Did you? Did you feel like that we had resolution at the end of this? Andy went to everyone. He went to Candiace and Robyn. Robyn's like, you know what? You know, something like this, when you had a real friendship, can't be resolved in one day. No resolution. Then we had Wendy and Nneka. You could tell Wendy does not see it for Nneka. And I know a lot of people say, well, she talked about her mama. I understand why she would never see it for Nneka. So no resolution there. Sidebar, Wendy does say to Nneka, what have I done to you? And Nneka really has no response. But what I will say, Nneka did seem like she was trying to move forward. And Wendy seemed like, and this is why I keep saying, I feel like there's so much more that we're not getting in regards to this Nneka and Dr. Wendy situation. And at this point, I don't even care. I don't even care. On either side, I don't care at this point, because it's like, you're never going to tell us what it is. We're never going to get to the truth. So I'm just like, I don't care. So no resolution there. Okay. Then Candiace and Giselle. Okay. So Andy sees it that there will never be resolution between Candiace and Giselle, understandably, because Giselle is Giselle. Giselle even says in this moment that she can't wait for this to air. Girl, after this aired, people have created 3 petitions for you to be fired. Okay? Andy says that they need Jesus. No resolution there. Okay? Who else needed resolution? I guess that was it. But that's major groups that needed resolution. If it was up to you, right now we know Candiace is not returning. We know Robyn's not returning. We just heard that, according to Jasmine Brand, Nneka's not returning. Do you think more people will not be returning? I still feel like there's one more person not returning. A lot of people are calling for Ashley to be fired as well, along with Giselle. So with 3 people gone, isn't this sort of a reboot or a cast shakeup? S. Lover, exactly. S. Lover says, Nneka's fired anyway. It doesn't even matter anymore. I agree. Look, it doesn't even matter. Like, I don't even care at this point. Like, I wouldn't even go back and rewatch season 8. That's how much I don't want to even revisit this. All right. So they bring out pies. Again, another throwback to a moment that Karen created, putting Robyn in the freezer. She says she put that part of the pie in the freezer. Okay. But you know what I loved about what Karen said in regards to Keiarna? She said, I would do that. She could have just taken that as a moment with Keiarna, but she says, I would do that for each and every woman on this cast, including regular Robyn. Oh, someone said the audience is not returning either. Come on. So they end the reunion by crowning Andy Cohen the Duke of Potomac. Sir, and he gets so excited for this. You are not the Duke of Potomac, okay? And just because they say it doesn't make it so. He's not even from Potomac. He don't even live in North Potomac. I still don't understand the difference between North Potomac and Central Potomac, and no one has explained it to me in a way that I'm like, is North Potomac richer? I don't know. Who cares at this point? All right. Where are my call-ins? Oh, all right. We got quite a few people backstage. If you are a TheKempire member, I'm going to drop the call-in link for you guys next. But I'm going to guarantee that our senior royals and our royal court members will be at first access. They're already behind the scenes, so we're going to bring them up. Please respect the timer, everyone, because once it goes off, I'm just going to cut you off because I need to get to everyone and I need to end the live on time because I'm going to be live again at 5:30 p.m. Eastern for our Summer House Martha's Vineyard recap. But replay crew, we haven't forgotten about you. Be sure to let us know your thoughts about the final part of the Real Housewives of Potomac Season 8 reunion and your reaction to the news that Candiace is pregnant. We hear that Nneka is not coming back. And of course, regular Robyn has admitted that she has been fired. I'm looking forward for a break from talking about Potomac. Before we get to the callers though, let me just say thank you because we had quite a few super chats. Love Calm Peace says Giselle basically admitted her and Jason is a joke. I think we already knew that, right? Right? Joe says, who are the petitions going to? Bravo or NBCU? I don't know. I haven't seen them. Diamond says, I thought it was crazy that Ashley was able to say she invited Deborah to resolve issues and no one called her out. That wasn't the place for that. And she never gave them a heads up or asked them. Especially when the accusations about their husbands were pretty damning. Christopher, thank you for the super chat. Christopher, OMG, Kempire, off topic. Happy you got your. Happy you got yourself a Vision Pro. Me too. Hope you post a pic of your persona. What's your go-to app so far? Really happy for Candiace and Chris. How do you know I got my Vision Pro? Mind your business. Look, mind your business. No. My go-to app is the Stars one. I love the Vision Pro Stars one because for those that don't know what Vision Pro is, sort of like this artificial environment. It's like not AI, virtual reality mixed with mixed reality. So it's really cool. I've been meaning to post the video because I did do an unboxing. I just haven't posted it. But I love it. I love it so far. Thank you, Chris, for the super chat. We appreciate you. Taria says the karma from that petition is going to eat you up. Oh, damn. Not eat me up. Love Compy says it was Ashley's fault. Deb wanted a problem. Mia said it too. She never should have approached Candiace. She should have never been invited. Joe says, if true, can you imagine if Michael pulls a John Jansen RHOC and asks Ashley for the booby work done as John is asking Shannon for the facelift? I mean, very possible. You never know. I mean, she admitted it, and that's the thing. She admitted it on national television. SD says the agreement was that Ashley gets to keep her RHOP money while he pays the mortgage. Gavager and Gizzy, some money for the Sheehan offshoot. Okay. Let me get through the rest of these super chats. Naza says, calling someone the help environment is not worth throwing wing hands over. Worse has been said and done. Bianca says Nneka really should have went to Married to Medicine. Oh, she did bring that up during the reunion in regards to her husband Ike being asked to be on Married to Medicine. So they just wanted to be on reality television because we also found out from Carlos that he had tested her out, or they had filmed another reality show together with Nneka then. That makes me look at Nneka very differently. Like, you are thirsty to be on television. Like, you've tried so many different avenues to be on television. Like, that kind of already throws me off in regards to you. But it gave that. And that's probably why Dr. Wendy did not see it for you. You probably weren't going around town telling people that you know her and all this other stuff. That's what this is giving. That is what this is giving. Like, just thirsty. She'd have had a better chance with the pregnancy being her storyline, a fumble, Nneka. Yeah, and I'd much rather see her there than on this show, to be honest with you, and then Phaedra on Married to Medicine. Sharon says Nneka is only desperate to resolve with Wendy because she desperately needs to do damage control with the upset Nigerian community. She ain't sincere. I agree. I definitely agree with that. CE says, what does it matter? RHP equals hashtag total blackout for most. Okay. Cassandra says a white unicorn. Thank you for the super sticker, Cassandra. We appreciate the support. Cammy says, I predict Ashley gets demoted to friend of. I really don't want to see Ashley because Ashley as a friend of is dangerous too. Either way, Ashley's very dangerous because she's going to be messy. Angelica says, maybe the reason they cut the part of Wendy talking in their language was because they were talking about the shrine topic and wasn't appropriate, but they still promoted it. That's the thing. Like, you guys knew coming into this reunion how culturally sensitive it was. Andy says it during the reunion. So why would the editors still include it in the promo? That's how sloppy production and editing in the network has become. I agree, but why was that even included? Why do we even see it? It'd be different if it was something that was featured during the season or earlier in the season. No, like y'all knew before this reunion because you said that whole disclaimer. Noda Queen, thank you for the super chat. Noda Queen says Candiace's mouth is a problem, but she's been saying for over a year that she doesn't want to talk to that lady. Don't force her to talk and then complain about her mouth. It's Ashley's fault. Points have been made. All right, y'all. This season has been draining for me. As you know, our friend over at DJ Richie Sky was here last week for our recap of the Real Housewives of Potomac. And he says, watching this season has been triggering for him. I am drained. I'm not necessarily triggered. I'm definitely drained. Definitely drained by this season. And I am ready to not talk about any more. All right. Callers. We're going to get to the callers next, guys. If you haven't already, be sure to like the video. It's an easy and free way of supporting not just my channel, but other channels as well. Also, be sure to check out our sponsor in the description, our friends over at Morgan & Morgan Injury Law Firm, the largest injury law firm in America. All right. Again, callers, please respect the timer and please respect no profanity, no derogatory comments. And I will be dropping you as soon as that timer goes off. So I'm able to get through some of the calls. Callers, we won't be able to get to everyone because I got to get off of here by 4:30. All right. Shout out to everyone watching on Twitter, Twitch, and here behind the scenes on TikTok. We appreciate you guys being here as well. Keep tapping your screens, TikTok. And for those that are on Twitter, be sure to follow us there if you haven't already. All right. Let's get to the callers. Let me switch this out. And sidebar, guys, I can't believe I haven't mentioned this at all. Don't forget, Kempire After Dark is coming to Boston May 30th. May 30th, we will be in Boston at City Winery for the Kempire After Dark live show. So if you want an explicit version of live shows like this one, we go in at our Kempire After Dark live shows. We'll be in Boston May 30th. We will be in Nashville on July 11th, then Atlanta, July 12th, and then we will be in Seattle August 30th. So if you live in Portland, if you live in Vancouver, if you live in Seattle, come to our Seattle show on August 30th. More information on the Kempire After Dark show is available in the description. All right. Let me bring up the callers. All right. Alex is first, so we're going to bring up Alex first. Hold on, Alex. Thoughts, opinions.
Hey, Kempire.
Hey.
Okay, first I want to mention it's been a year and 1 month. I was a little late. A year and 1 month that I've been a member.
All
and
right.
I'm so happy.
Thank you.
I love calling in. So hopefully, cheers to another year.
Yes.
Hopefully, of course, obviously. Anyway. Okay, anyway.
Go ahead.
Let's not be negative. All right, let me move on. I always have to be shady. Anyway, Giselle, you are a hateful human being. I am so sorry. It must hurt you deep into your core that you were so hateful ever since Sherman ran away with his tail tucked between his legs into the mountains, off into the sunset. He said bye-bye because he saw you for who you truly are, and we see you for who you truly are. Y'all better stop making 3 petitions and just band together to make one, because it's not gonna have a big deal if you're spread out between 3 different ones. I mean, you have to have one together with all the big numbers in one. They tried to do that with Rolly and it didn't work because now she's back on Baddies. Not that I watched that because, Anyway. Robyn, I am so happy you're fired. Somebody check if Juan was gone on Valentine's Day. Let's check because we know Michael was gone on Valentine's Day and he has a new boo. Juan, is that who you've been running off with? Is that who you've been parading around with in Georgetown? Are you having little rendezvous with Gollum? Anyways, have a good day, Kempire.
You too, Alex. Thank you. Bye. See how Alex did that? He respected the timer and he got off. All right, we're going to get to some more callers. We're going to bring up Mo Reality next. Mo Reality, what's going on?
Hey, Kempire.
Hey.
Okay, so I just wanted to speak on Ashley really quickly.
Okay.
I was happy that she admitted that she did talk to Deborah, because that's what I was thinking. Like, there is no way you didn't have no conversation with this girl ahead of time, which is an admitted setup. You can't bring somebody to have a conversation because they said they didn't know they would get a chance. To me, that's reason enough to be fired, because that is a safety issue. And if your friend attacked me, you see it because she saw it. Your friend attacked me and you reach for me and not your friend. Oh yeah, I'm minking you upside your head too.
Ooh.
Mink, mink, mink.
No
I'm just saying
violence.
that really upset me. But yeah, that's it. I don't want to go over my time. Can't wait to see you in Nashville. I'm gonna say
Yes.
that every time.
Yes. And I'm gonna get to meet little Zane.
Yes, but you said you're gonna be in Atlanta on the 12th. So I'm like, are you leaving that night?
Yeah. I can't tell people where I'm gonna be. Goodbye, Maria. We'll
You're
talk
right.
when I'm in Nashville. Bye. Look, shout out to Dr. Wendy Asefo. I keep forgetting to mention this because so much news from RHOP keeps coming up. While she was in Jamaica, her home in Maryland was burglarized. I'm glad that she's safe, but they took some Birkins. Not the Birkins. All right. O'Shea's backstage. We're going to bring up O'Shea next. O'Shea, what's going on?
Hey, how are you?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm very well, thanks. I just came I just called in to say, hey, congratulations to Candiace. I hope she gets the color that she wants.
Oh.
And I think the show can be built around Karen, Giselle, and Wendy and Mia. I think they can manage it. Yeah, I'm sure that they can manage, even though, well, Karen will obviously be the star, but I'm sure though they can manage it if they add like 2 or 3 other new people around,
Yeah.
and just tell Giselle at the start, don't dig them unnecessarily. And I'm sure I think they'll probably take a long break, but I'm sure we'll have a good season.
Yeah.
Well, I hope we have a good season, just ending on a positive note, but thanks, Kempire.
All right. Thanks, O'Shea. O'Shea got everybody screaming in the chat. I was not prepared for that comment. I was like, oh, okay, callers. All right, buckle up. We're going to bring up Jenna next. Jenna, what's going on? Hey, Jenna. Jenna, I can't hear you. Jenna, drop out and call back in. Jenna? Nope. Jenna, drop out and call back in. Sometimes that works better. All right. We're going to bring up April next. And then when Jenna calls back in, we will bring Jenna back. All right. April?
Hi, good afternoon, Kempire and chat. So I just wanted to say about Ashley Megamind. I can't. That definitely was a setup, and I've been in a similar situation where it wasn't like a complete setup, but it definitely went wrong with the other friend, and I had to defend myself. So yes, I'm going to like defend myself. It doesn't matter because I have smart mouth too, like Candiace. And no, like listen, don't get in my face. Don't do that. That's a no. I did sign the petition for Jizzy Neck because she really needs to go. I don't like her. Period. And Karen needs to stop riding the fence because all of the ladies, if they were in a similar situation, they would have defended themselves. So let's not pretend that Sesame Street from the under the trash can, they would have to do the same thing. But that's it. Go and the rest of your day. For that.
Thanks, April. All right. Let me see if okay. Jenna did not call back in just yet, so I'm gonna bring up Miss Bernice next. Miss Bernice, what's going on? That wasn't for you, Miss Bernice.
Hey, Kempire, how you doing?
I'm well,
What
how
up,
are
though,
you?
everybody? This show was so triggering because when Giselle was sitting up there ringing off the names that she had been called, she never said why. You get you don't get a cause without a reaction. You telling us what was done to you, but you didn't tell what you did to them to get that reaction. And she's very dangerous, and she's more dangerous now that she's alone. She doesn't have a sidekick. So, and for them to, now people, look at the tape. She came up to Candiace. Candiace, Wendy, and Kay was standing there. Candiace said, disengage. This woman went and she threw the drink on Candiace. She went over Kay and Wendy to throw the drink on Candiace. Candiace had her back. Candiace was turning around and walking back into the corner where she threw the drink.
Yeah.
That's when Kay got it.
Uh-oh. Miss Bernice? Miss Bernice? Oh, wait. There we go. Miss Bernice, finish your last thought because we got to go.
Okay, that's when she smashed the glass in Kay's face. Come on, people, watch the tape.
I'll watch the tape.
Stop blaming Candiace. It was not her fault. She came there on the agenda. She was dressed to fight,
Oh,
and she was gonna get a reaction out of somebody.
yeah.
Her objective was Candiace.
All right, Miss Bernice. Thank you so much for calling in.
Okay, yeah, because I can't wait till 5:30. Because I got a whole list.
Right,
Ooh,
not a whole list.
I looked at that episode twice. I got a whole list for that one.
Okay, all right. I need to go. I need to go watch that episode. All right, the Scarlet. Scarlet. I'm gonna bring up next. Scarlet, what's going on?
Hey, Kempire, how are you?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm doing really well. Okay, I'm gonna jump into it. I just want to say that part with Gordon talking about his mental health, it really, I know it touched me.
Hmm.
My father is also bipolar.
Hmm.
It touched me in a way that I felt comfort because I've not really heard that kind of commentary from a Black man on this
Hmm.
scale.
Yeah.
And so revisiting my father's anger issues, his mood swings, I just want to say that I really appreciate that he was proactive and went in and saw treatment. And I
Yeah.
want to say thank you, Gordon, and thank you, Mia. It explains a lot, and
Yeah.
that's what we're looking for. Second point.
Yeah.
Um, Note to all the networks, because it's not just Bravo, it's Lifetime, it's O. The climate is changing.
Hmm.
Read the room. People here, at least I can speak for the states, we're dissatisfied. So we're not looking for you to cast people with inauthentic stories or a motive. We get that. Okay, so please just give us transparency and vulnerability. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Scarlet. Take care. See, I love that. I'm glad that Scarlett brought that up because I did think that it was poignant, especially for a Black man talking about therapy and his depression and his diagnosis. All right, let me see. Oh, Jenna's backstage. Let me bring Jenna back up. Jenna, what's going on?
Y'all, Nneka and Ike's trying to snatch my live. They're trying to snatch my internet, so I can't talk trash about them. How y'all doing? So let me talk fast, so I won't run out of time. The best part of the reunion for me had to have been when Dr. Wendy sunned Nneka like a church mother, like the professor she is, and she said, I wasn't talking to you. Ashley needs to answer this question. She got both of them together at the same time in that one, and I lived for it. It was great. Big Sister Delusional one is the worst. I don't know why she's watching this or say at this reunion thinking, oh, I can't wait for the world to see this so we can see how awful you are. Because I think even the people that are behind her for some reason are starting to get hit to the jive that she is ridiculous.
No.
I cannot believe the hypocrisy that keeps mounting, even with them trying to act like Dr. Wendy calling Mia slow was the same thing as, you know, her saying something about her son, which that's not what was happening.
Yeah.
Obviously, that was just an idle insult because she doesn't like her. And let's be honest, Mia is slow, but that was totally different than the last lady of Potomac talking trash about Mama Sue and calling somebody's mother evil. Keep people's mama names and their kids' names out your mouth. I would never see it for somebody that called my mama evil. And Dr. Wendy did the right way to me. She said, we can coexist and move forward. And that's it because that's my time. Goodbye.
Thanks, Jenna. All right. All right. Elle's backstage. We're going to bring Elle up next. Elle, what's going on?
Hi, Kempire. Hi, mods in chat.
Hey.
So I did watch the extended version of the Grand Dame and Friends.
Yes.
And so for that, I did not see the part that you were talking about with the exchange where they were speaking in, I don't know what language that is, so I don't want to be disrespectful.
Yes.
But it wasn't in that version either.
Hey,
I just wanted to really call in to say that I think they should add Keiarna, give her a flute. I think she was great. Just a few moments she was out there. She's very direct. She seems fun. She said she liked the ladies. It seems like she knows how to go along, to get along, to do the show. I think she would bring a lot. And actually, she reminds me of my other favorite housewife, Garcelle, who she says what she means and means what she says. And I love that. So I think that would be great energy for the cast. And I hope she's back as a full-time housewife next year or next season.
Okay. All right, Elle.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for calling in.
Everyone have a great day.
You too. And Elle did that with 5 seconds to spare. All right, we're going to bring up Joe next. Joe, what were your thoughts?
Hi, happy World Art Day and happy National Tax Day, guys.
Oh, damn.
I'm interested to see whether the ratings for last night's episode actually rated. For the trending tweet last night about boycotting RHOP, I wonder if anybody actually did and whether the ratings reflected that. So with the folks not returning, I also wonder if the remaining cast, production, Bravo, or NBC Universal will take the colorism issue seriously, either off screen before they film the next season, and when they film again. Or I wonder if they actually think removing some of the cast members and keeping Giselle will like solve the issue. Like either way, they need help, and hopefully they get that figured out next season. With Drew apparently staying on Real Housewives of Atlanta, I wonder if she's going to use Candiace's reason for not getting her again on her tour as part of her storyline, because that would sound like she probably doesn't have any to talk about next season. We also know that Mia said that she had an encounter with Sesame Street, right? But with all of Mia's lies, Mia be lying. I don't know if that actually happened. So that's all, guys. Happy National Laundry Day too.
No, damn. Thanks, Joe. I believe Mia in that particular instance in regards to her interaction with Deborah. All right, Dewan's backstage. We're gonna bring Dewan up next. Dewan, what's going on?
Hey, Kempire, how you doing?
I'm well. How are you?
Let me just say, Joe, thank you for reminding me to file my extension because I did not do taxes yet. So, really quickly, I want also people to sign my petition to have the Maryland Department of Aging and Disability to investigate Mia Thornton for clear elder abuse, which she is doing to Gordon on national TV. I don't see how y'all are just sitting back like, oh, this is fine. The woman lies about everything. She's sleeping with another man. She got the kids thinking that their daddy's somebody else. She's running around with the man's money half of the time. I'm like, what is going on? Then he got mental issues. It's clear. Yeah, because he's messing with your crazy you know what. So sign my petition for that. Additionally, I'm happy for Candiace. I'm actually shocked that she went ahead and had a baby with Chris. You know me. I think that he is too broke for her. And I support Mama Dorothy in saying that. So I wish them the best of luck. Looking forward to that in the next season. I hope also, I was just thinking that in the casting, they're in Potomac, Maryland, right next to D.C. Bring in a rich, white, Republican housewife that will flip the tables. Listen, no, I don't rock that way politically, but I'm saying good TV. If you go back and look at season 1 of Real Housewives of DC, you'll know what I'm talking about. That was a good cast.
That's now available on Peacock for those that never saw that one and done season of DC. All right, thank you, Tawan. Always shaking the table when he calls in. Lord have mercy. Y'all give me halves. All right, Miss Brown Sugar's backstage. We're going to try and get through all these calls, guys. Again, please respect the time. I'm going to try my best. All right, Miss Brown Sugar, what's going on? You're muted, Miss Brown Sugar.
I was. Hey, just let me. I just need to have a second. Happy Monday, everybody.
Are you running?
I had to kick out of my office real quick. I just want to say, as much as I have been annoyed by Giselle and Ashley for years, the real problem is Bravo. We really need to be petitioning Bravo to stop setting up people. We shouldn't be having storylines where somebody's entire arc is based on somebody else's life and their family. That shouldn't be allowed. If Ashley can't show her family part, Ashley can't show her life because of her husband, then she needs to go. If Giselle refuses to show her life, then she needs to go. And stop letting it be the people who have no stakes are able to wreak havoc on other people's lives. That's all. I really hope they take a break for like a few months and change their cycle. Okay, sorry that was really loud. Thank you. Have a good one.
Thank you. All right, Daff is backstage. We're gonna bring Daff up next. Daff, what's going on?
Hey there.
Hey.
Happy Monday.
You too.
I'm hoping if
Your sound went out, Daff. We lost you, Daff. I can't hear you. Daff?
Can you hear me
now? Now I can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay, perfect. Sorry. I absolutely hope they bring Keiarna back. She was awesome, and the look on Ashley's face when Keiarna, made the comment about how Ashley, she's a pro at being apologetic, that made me crack up. I don't know why, but it did. And what do you call it? I like Sashay Shante said earlier in the chat, a spinoff for Candiace. I think that would be awesome because the difference between her and Kenya is that Kenya kept it a secret. Yeah. She kept it a secret, and she kept it a secret and got married during the off season when they were not taping. So that's why it was different. So with Candiace, it'll be different. Loved Mia and Gordon. Loved the clarity. And although I was shook up by who was that? Dewan, when he was like elder abuse. But I still do love the fact that what works for them works for them, and that's it.
Thank you so much, Dav.
You're welcome. Bye.
I could definitely see a spinoff, and it doesn't have to be a long one. Maybe like 3 episodes. It's still early. They could still do it. Can't just work on it. I'd watch it. And we see her family, and probably Karen will come through. Wendy will come through. They'll do a whole baby shower. And you know Chris is good for the drama, and you know Candiace is good for the drama. I want to see it. Look, I want to see it. All right, Sam's backstage. We're going to bring Sam up next. What's going on, Sam?
Hi, how?
Uh-oh.
Hello?
There we go.
Okay. How are you?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm good. I barely call.
It's okay.
I wanted to say I really liked last night's episode. I think it was the best throughout like the entire season. I absolutely love Mia and Gordon's transparency. I honestly think Mia is probably the most transparent housewife across any franchise. Like talking about the other guy being possibly the father, like that's just an entire mess. So the fact that she's able to be that transparent is amazing. Giselle should take notes because I'm honestly sick of Giselle and her not sharing anything about her life, but yet at the same time trying to expose everybody with like all these lies, like all these very inflammatory rumors, right?
Yeah.
I really would love to see Giselle go. And I think they should bring Jacqueline and Monique back on the show and maybe boot out Ashley. That's what I would suggest. And also, just another thing I've noticed, I've watched actually the old seasons of Real Housewives of New Jersey, and I realized that they never put the, well, we don't condone violence.
Oh, yeah. We talked about that before.
Fights on Real Housewives of New Jersey, but they put it for RHOP and RHOP, which I don't like it. Yeah, that's kind of weird.
Notice that they didn't do. I think they've noticed that they've been called out about that. They did not say that this in regards to the brawl.
That's it.
All right. Thanks, Sam. Take care. All right. Let me just say thank you guys. Jessica for the super chat. She says, I met Wendy as a fan at the same event. I'm sure she doesn't remember me either. There are plenty of VIP fans meeting performers, speakers of the night. It was a 5-day event and there are 3,000 people in attendance. Damn, are you referring to Nneka being a fan? I honestly don't include you meeting someone casually at an event as someone that you know. So, Total Insight, thank you for the super chat. Total Insight says, in this country, everyone has a right to defend themselves with their words. The word vermin does not warrant physical violence. If that is the case, then black bodies are seriously at risk. Andy should know better. Andy should have just stayed out of there, especially as an employer, in regards to that conversation. Because as an employer, you're not supposed to condone any sort of violence, period. This was a work environment. Even if the cameras were down. Nicole, thank you for the super chat. Nicole says, it's crazy to me how Giselle only mentioned the dark-skinned women for the fight. At this rate, she will never outlive the colorism accusations. She's got a lot of therapy that she needs, to be honest with you. Because she doesn't see it at all. Bianca, thank you for the super chat. Bianca says, for another super chat, Bianca says, if Keiarna comes on, I'm ready for the tea to spill. Hair professionals talk, and I want to know what Cal has been telling Kay about Giselle. I don't think he said anything to her, but you never know. You never know. I mean, they're in a good place. She gets along with Giselle. If you watch the Peacock version, there was a little bit of a, issue between Giselle and Keiarna in regards to Giselle reaching out to Keiarna after the brawl. Okay. All right. I'm going to try and get to a couple more callers, guys, but I have to go because I have to rewatch Summer House Martha's Vineyard before our next recap. But we will continue this conversation with the replay crew in the comment section. So let me just get to a couple more callers and then I got to get out of here. All right. All right. Let me bring up El Michelle next. El Michelle, what's going on? What are your thoughts?
I'm good. Can you hear me first of all?
Yes.
Okay, great. So I'm going to make it quick. So regarding Mia, I twerk on when it comes to Mia because yes, she is entertaining, but at the same time, like the other caller said, like she lies, and it's just like I feel like 75% of every story she tells is a lie. So there's that. Watching Andy on any Black reunion, and it really any reunion that's not Beverly Hills. He's so checked out, and it's just like I don't even want you to review or talk about this or ask the questions because you don't even know the follow ups. I feel like the best job that Nneka did in this reunion was ask the follow up questions that Andy just couldn't ask. Wendy, I like Wendy. My only issue with Wendy during that reunion, my only issue with anybody during that reunion was when Giselle named every dark skinned girl that was around in that fight. I wish someone would have stopped her and said, "This is why people call you colorist." Like this is why. Like this is the example. Because the fact that you didn't even call out Ashley, who was there, who brought her to this event, and you can't even say her name because I guess you work with her. That's my time. You have a great day.
Thank you, El Michelle. Take care. I love it. Everyone's respecting the time. We're going to bring up Kat next. Kat, what were your thoughts? Kat, you're muted.
Hey, Kempire, how are you doing today?
Well, how are you?
Yeah, I was calling to say that I think Mia and Gordon is lying. I think that's a storyline. This is my opinion. I don't know about nobody else's. Andy is still looking out for for the light color people because why didn't they play with last night on the recap where Ashley said is the cameras are off? They didn't play that last night. So, they didn't bring that part up. So he's still looking out for them. Actually, I wish Robyn would have stayed instead of Giselle because when Giselle is not around, everybody seems to get along. But when Giselle come back in the room, they acting like, oh, big sister gorgeous one is back, so we got to respect her. But if they would have got rid of her, I really think that Robyn and Candiace and all of them would have made it out together because Giselle she's the poisonous one. She's the snake.
Yeah.
She want everybody to follow behind her. And if Candiace is gone, Ashley need to be gone too. Because Stewie is doing a lot of stuff behind the scenes with that heavy head ass wig she had on her head. That she needs to be put out there too. I think that she needs to be going along with Robyn because if Robyn going to be gone, thank you, Kempire.
Oh, thank you, Kat. I love it. Dr. Payne is backstage. We're going to bring Dr. Payne up next. Dr. Payne, what were your thoughts? Dr. Payne, you're muted. Dr. Payne, why can't I hear you? Uh-oh. Dr. Payne, drop out and call right back. Yeah. I think sometimes if someone calls you while you're waiting, sometimes that will mess up your audio. All right, Wendy's backstage. We're gonna bring Wendy up, and we know Wendy's always quick. What's going on, Wendy?
Okay, hey, Kempire. Okay, so nobody mentioned that Raggedy Robyn. I'm saying Raggedy Robyn had asked Ashley about her divorce. I'm like, woman, get out of folks' marriage. Go to your marriage. Leave it alone. And Wendy. Giving that question to Ashley, that was the epitome of the night for me. I was like, yes. And that's it. Bye.
Thank you, Wendy. All right. Look, and she did that in under 30 seconds. All right. We're going to bring Judgy Justice up next. Judgy Justice, what were your thoughts?
Hey, so my thoughts were, I still feel like this was lackluster because there wasn't enough follow-up. And honestly, it's giving colorism versus social economic. That's pretty much what the show is because Wendy has comments about slow and stuff. It's about the education level that Mia has and also that she be lying. And then the second part is Candiace does the same thing. She always says lowbrow things to forehead, Megamind, Ashley. I'm sorry, I was reaching. All I saw was the wig in my head. I couldn't think of what her name was. And then I really think that Karen is not really housewife material, like main housewife material. She really is side character. When I was rewatching the season, it felt like she was like a host of a reality show, going to people's houses to check up on them instead of actually like having her own story. It just always felt like she was just like a side character. She'd be a great friend of though. She's doing it well. Thank you. Bye.
Thanks, Judgy Justice. Woo. All right. We're going to bring Born to Win up. Oh, wait. Born to Win. Hold on 1 second because we have Dr. Payne. Dr. Payne, thoughts, opinions.
Hi, Kempire. I love the show. Thank you for letting me call back in.
Of course.
I agree with Damon and a lot of the other callers. I think Giselle should go because if the network let her go, I think all of the housewives would perform better. They would be like, what? They let Giselle go? Let me stop being fake and phony and make sure each season is my best. And they don't. They're just coasting. Ashley is like, really? Ashley? Come on. She's not a character. She needs to go. But I love when you say the name of reality Von Tease, Jessie Smollett. They need one of those types of ladies at Potomac. Somebody with something going on, some pizzazz, something, you know? Anyway, I hope you enjoy your day. Can't wait for 5:30.
Thank you, Dr. Payne. Take care. All right. We're going to get to some more. We're going to try and get to hopefully, maybe. I can't promise y'all, but I'm going to try. Everyone respect the time. We're going to bring up Born to Win. Born to Win, thoughts?
Hey, Kempire, how are you?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm good. Okay, so I will have to say that I do think that with Robyn being kicked out, I think this is a little message for Giselle. I think it's like, we're getting rid of one, and then let's see how she does on her own and see how she can play with the girls. And if that doesn't work out, then this just may be the last of Big Sister Almighty. Have a good day.
You too. Take care, Born to Win. Thank you for making it short, too. Woo! I love it. All right, Maya, we're going to bring you up next because you guys are helping other people get a chance. I appreciate it. Maya, what's going on?
Hi, I just put in the chat for the callers that Giselle without Robyn is like Santa without the elves. Like, I don't know how she's going to keep scheming and plotting and like making things work without her trusty sidekick / friend. I do think I agree with everyone. Andy dropped the ball. It was like journalism 101. He had like barely any follow-up questions. Also, I feel like Deborah, Deborah Sesame Street, whatever her name is a total liability because, like Karen said in the last episode, this is showing that anyone can run up on somebody and harm them. And if you're not a favorite, if you're not favored by production or staff or whatever, then they'll get away with it. I mean, Cookie Monster should be getting sued for every single chocolate chip right now, but she's not, as far as I know. Other than that, I'm sorry for Gordon, but I also feel like it's a bit. Let me go.
Thanks, Maya.
Bye.
Take care. I love it. Let this be the example for future callers. Respect the timer because it really has opened us up to get to more people. All right, we're gonna bring up Cephas next. Cephas, what were your thoughts on this Potomac reunion?
Happy Monday, Kempire.
You too.
Thank you. So my dream cast after watching the reunion is Mia, Wendy, Karen, Keiarna, and if you remember a while back, they were floating around Vivian, the designer.
Yeah.
I think she'd be great. I think get rid of Giselle. She's too much of a liability. She's only going to escalate the longer she's on the show. We saw that with Monique. We're seeing it with Candiace. Also with all the 3 positions floating around about Giselle. And also with the reality reckoning with Bethany Frankel at one point. Bravo has no choice but to respond to it. And if they are interested in like the longevity of the show, they're going to take heed. And that's it.
Thank you, Cephas. Take care.
You're very welcome.
Bye. All right, I love it. See, you just opened it up for us to take some more callers, and then I got to go, guys, because I have to rewatch Summer House, Martha's Vineyard. Christopher, we're going to bring you up next. Christopher, what were your thoughts?
Hey, I just want to comment on the nipple picture, Andy. It seems like he was gaslighting the entire reunion. And why is it a problem with violence across the board on Bravo? I don't care if it was a napkin on ROC, whatever it is, OC. It's an excuse, and it's not the same thing to use your words. It's ridiculous. And I wish they would stop pushing Giselle on us. She's not an anchor on the show, and I just want her to go. They need to bring that lady back from season 1 that went to jail, allegedly.
Who was the one from season 1 that went to jail?
She was like a little friend in the background. She was always up Sharice's ass. They said she went to jail for something crazy. I want to know what she did.
I think I vaguely remember. I can't remember her name, but all right. Is that it, Christopher?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Get the lady from... All right, let's bring up V. V, what's going on? Thank you for waiting so patiently. V, you're muted. V, maybe V stepped away. V?
I'm here. I'm
yeah.
here.
What's going on, V? That wasn't for you, V. Go ahead.
Oh, I had to. So one thing I just wanted to say, I told you Candiace was pregnant. Remember, I put it in the super chat.
You did.
I called it out. I knew she was crying too much. And the other thing was, I was going to just say, make sure y'all sign the petition.
Which one?
Big Sister Almighty.
I know, but there's like 3 different ones for Giselle.
Sign them all. Just sign them all. That way we done and we ain't going to miss a beat and we on top of it and everything is good. That's all I had to say. Don't want to take no time because you see I'm at work.
Thanks, B. Bye.
right.
And thank you for your service, B. All right. Shout out to all the military folks. All right. All right. Especially with everything that's going on in the world right now. Lord have mercy. All right. Chef Lorraine is going to be our last caller. Chef Lorraine, close it out with what you need to say about this reunion.
Hello there, my love. How are you?
Oh, well, how are you?
I'm doing well. So I'm going to make this quick because I don't want the budget to catch me. I usually try to finish before then. But I would like to say that I hope Gordon doesn't have a kidney problem because he does have the raccoon eyes. I don't know if it's just that he has, the bipolarism. Wendy is an elitist. I'm sorry, she is. Candiace and Chris, congratulations on your baby. And Candiace will be your karma if that is a little green-eyed girl with blonde hair. Deborah had everything except the Vaseline in her bag, I'm sure. Giselle has been on one ever since she was on the Ultimate Girls Trip, and she was looking for that tequila bottle. And they need to find that woman who pulled Keiarna's hair and pulled her down. She had on a yellow suit, I want to say. They need to find that girl, and they need to give Keiarna and what's her name, Sharice, a Lincoln Memorial that they hold or whatever they hold when they're standing there for the Housewives of Potomac. And that's it. I've done it. Yay.
Thanks, Chef Lorraine. Bye. Messy. Shout out to everyone that called in. Thank you guys so much for the super chats. Joe, thank you for another super chat. Joe says, Wendy giving Mariah Carey with I Don't Know Her in regards to Nneka. Word on the street, Nneka has been fired. Robyn Dixon confirmed earlier today that she has been fired. And Candiace revealed that she is with child. Congratulations to her. And congratulations to us. This season of The Real Housewives of Potomac is over. However, the conversations about colorism or xenophobia is far from over. So I encourage all of us to continue to have these conversations, to continue to learn more about what these things mean and how they are separating us as a community. We're going to continue to have these conversations, and we're going to continue to force Bravo and NBC Universal to continue these conversations. And we look forward to a new season of The Real Housewives of Potomac with hopefully a bunch of new faces. Thank you all for being here. Thank you to everyone that sent in super chats. Thank you to all of you that are subscribers watching in the bushes. Shout out to our members for their monthly support. To become a member, head on over to teamkempire.com/join. And for everything Kempire, including our Kempire After Dark tour dates, coming to Boston, coming to Nashville, Atlanta, and Seattle. All that information is available in the description. And our sponsor for today, our friends over at Morgan & Morgan Injury Law Firm, is available in the description. All right. Thank you all for being here. And thank you, of course. We cannot do this without our King's Guards. You guys are a special bunch in order to handle these types of conversations with almost 4,000 people watching on over 4,000 people watching on multiple platforms. So we appreciate you guys watching on TikTok, those of you watching on Twitch, Twitter, and for those of you watching on Facebook and here on YouTube. I will see you guys at 5:30 for our Summer House Martha's Vineyard recap. I look forward to that conversation because that's definitely a lot light and fun energy over there. All right, y'all. Thank you all so much for being here. I will see you guys later. Bye, y'all.